just seen John Wick 4. Good film, loved it, however it does have its issues. I watched it, I'll give it a 7 out of 10, I'm guessing. I've seen a lot of reviews, people absolutely bigging this film up, saying it's as good as the first one, if not better, and it's epic. I just want to say, it's 3 hours long. It didn't feel like 3 hours long when I was watching the film. It's good, didn't have to get up, wasn't fidgeting around. Didn't feel like 3 hours long. The time did go well because you're engaged throughout the whole film. However, it has got its issues. It's nowhere near as good as the first one. It's probably on par with the second and the third one, and there's reasons for this. It's gone a bit too fantasy. A lot of the shooting and everything it just went on too much. And I've seen a couple of other people have covered this and called it out. So, as you know, he's got his ballistic suit. Now, I've got a background in weapons and stuff, and I'm telling you now, in holding a jacket up, which is alright, it's ballistic, it's bulletproof to whatever state, you know what I mean, isn't gonna protect you from rounds. And there's a lot of this going on because there's a lot of the characters have got these suits, ballistic suits, and it's like plot armor. It's saving them from getting shot, and that was taking me out of the film. You've had it in the first ones where he gets injured, you know, where he gets hit by a car, or if he falls over, or if he gets shot and stabbed and whatever and punched, he's getting injured. You can see throughout the film he's getting more and more degraded, and you can see this in the first 3 films. This film, yeah, it's getting on the realms of Marvel fantasy, and that was taking me out of the film big style. Yeah, that was doing my head in. There was a couple of bits. There was a bit where he jumps out of a 3-story building, lands on top of a VW camper van, dents the roof. Now you're going to be messed up big style. You're going to have he would have had at least minimum broken ribs and a broken arm, but he just walks it off. And there's one where he falls down a massive flight of stairs. Again, you're going to be fucked up. You ain't going to be getting up from that for a while. You're going to need a timeout. And then there was what was the other one? Oh yeah, when they're in Paris and they're on the Arc de Triomphe and he gets hit by a car and a couple of times, and it's just like, yeah. And that's the other thing with the Paris. It's just like American muscle cars in Paris. It's just like, really? Yeah, that kind of like took me out of it a bit, because they put a price on his head and all these baddies to start all rocking up, and it's just like, you know, you're going up against John Wick, didn't you? The Baba Yaku, the bogeyman, and it's just like, would you really be getting up against him because you know he's going to F you up big style? So yeah, that kind of took me out of it. That did. It was all the shooting and the fact that he wasn't getting messed up, whereas before you had that, he was getting absolutely banged up big style. And in this film, it hasn't been happening. So yeah, that took me out of it. And that happened, and that's kind of like the theme throughout the film is, yeah, it's bordering on fantasy now. You've lost that edge of bit of realism. I know it's fiction and it's all fantasy anyway, but you like to have a bit, so it's a bit grounded. But yeah, that kind of took me out of it. So that's why it's not a 10 out of 10 film. I went into this film after hearing people banging on about it, saying how good it was, and then I was just picking up on all these points. Even my daughter picked up on it, and she was a bit confused as well. So she's seen the first 3 films and she was kind of confused the way the film starts as well. Yeah, it was a bit confusing, and it didn't make sense. It was the way the film started and the way that he jumps around the world. One minute he's in the Middle East, next minute he's in Germany, then he's in Berlin. It was yeah, it didn't go down too well. So yeah, it loses points for all of that. It's a good film though, like I said, 3 hours, and yeah, I'd recommend it. Go and see it, but would I go and see it a second time? I probably won't. Will I get it on DVD? I probably will get it on DVD. The other thing was the first film come out 10 years ago, and obviously the characters are getting older. Keanu Reeves pulls it off. He's still really good. Winston, his character, he's getting quite old now. He must be in his 80s now, and you can hear it in his voice when he's talking. So that was quite noticeable. But all the other characters were really good. Johnny Yen, you can see sometimes he's a bit old, and again his character, all right, he's blind, but when you're shooting guys that are like 30-50 meters away from you, how does he know that they're there? I can understand when he sets up his other stuff and he can see, he sets up these doorbell, like ringing doorbell things, so he knows where people are and stuff. I can understand that, but when someone's 50 to 100 meters max, yeah, it's just like, nah, that took it out for me. That was a bit crap. So but apart from that, I enjoyed it. It was a pretty good film. So yeah, get yourself at the cinema. It's not woke, it's got none of that crap in it. Female characters in it, they fight to their strengths, you know what I mean? They're fighting big guys, but the way they do it is very, very clever. I'll tell you what was good, I enjoyed, was the baddie in it, the German character. He was really good. I enjoyed that bit. But oh, there, that was it. That was another bit that took me out of it. So when he goes to see this German guy to go and assassinate him, they're fighting in a nightclub, and oh fucking hell, it just done my head in. And a couple of other people have pulled this up as well. No one's reacting to the fact that these guys are fighting with axes and stuff. It isn't until the very like one of the very last scenes that people like put two and two together, that people are getting killed and shot and stabbed in front of them, but they just carry on dancing. They're like mongs. They're on drugs or something. Yeah, absolutely. That took me out of it as well. I was starting to get a bit But apart from that, yeah, go see the film. Recommend it. It's good. Ties it all up at the end of the film. So I'm not going to spoil it for you. So get yourselves out. And on that note, I'm going to end this video here. See you guys in the next video. GoPro, stop recording.